The next morning at Manav's villa, as usual, Siya wakes up early to complete her workout. After freshening up, she comes down for breakfast. At this moment, she seems a bit excited. She was just waiting for one thing, which was her surprise gift. Just then, Manav also comes down after getting ready for the office. He was wearing a black business suit, and as always, from top to bottom, Manav Bajaj looked absolutely perfect. He walks with confidence into the dining area and sits down at his chair. The servants quickly serve him breakfast. While having breakfast, he feels someone's sharp gaze on him for a long time. When he looks up, he sees Siya staring at him with her twinkling star-like eyes. Seeing her gaze, for some reason, Manav felt very happy. And he also liked it a lot. Calmly having his breakfast, he says, "Finish your breakfast." After hearing this, Siya almost finishes her entire breakfast in 2 minutes. After finishing her glass of juice and placing it on the table, she says, "People, I'm done. Now quietly give me my gift, or I swear no one will be worse than me." Hearing this and seeing her antics, Manav shakes his head in disappointment. After finishing his breakfast, he takes Siya to the hall. When they get there, she sees that something is placed there. Shah goes over to it and sees many books, different styles of bikes, a uniform, and many other things that a college student often needs. After looking at all those things, she glances at them once, then looks at Manav, then back at the things, and then at Manav again. After nodding her head several times, she says, "Hey, why are you looking so scared?" At that, smiles appear on everyone's faces. She was starting to understand a little, but when Manav saw her curiosity, he said, "Last night, the principal sent an email with your exam results." Upon hearing this, Siya almost jumps on him and says, "What was the result?" To prevent her from falling, Manav quickly holds her tightly. He looks at her with an angry gaze, but seeing the smile on his face, he forgets his anger and says, "You scored out of marks in all the tests. That's why you can join your college for the second semester of the first year, which is in 2 days." Hearing this, Siya became so happy that she started running around the house like a dog. And then finally, she jumped straight onto Manav and hugged him tightly. She was so happy that in her joy she even kissed Manav on the cheek, causing his eyes to widen, his heart to race, his ears to turn red, and everyone else to be in shock. Then, when Siya realizes what she has done in her happiness, she feels embarrassed. She slowly distances herself from Manav, but Manav had already seen her flushed cheeks and face, yet he says nothing. Then she goes to Leela Ji and almost twirls them around, saying, "I will study again. I will go to college." Saying this, she dances around the whole house. Seeing her so happy, everyone standing there was also happy. Then Manav calmly advises her to stay composed and not to get too playful, and he leaves for his office. The servants arrange all the things that Manav had brought for her in her room and then return to their work. After a while of jumping around in the garden, Siya returns to her room. She starts looking at all those things, and unwillingly, memories of her past life begin to swirl in her mind. In her past life, When she had talked about her further studies in front of her grandfather, he had asked Ram and Mr. Rao to handle the matter. The Rao family, using their power, had gotten her admission in that same university. Because of this, Siya had to face a lot of problems. Initially, no one tracked her properly there. Everyone thought she had gotten admission there because of her family's name and power. That's why everyone considered her very spoiled. Moreover, Rajini studied in the same class as her. Ragini had incited the whole class against her and had also spread many rumors about her in school, which directly affected Siya. Because of this, she could not focus on her studies at all, and she always scored lower marks than Ragini. As a result, she always had to hear something from her family. For her, college life was not easy at all. Everyone bullied her, belittled her, and hit her. Everyone thought Rajini was the real daughter of the Rao family, and Siya was adopted because the Rao family had presented it that way in front of everyone. That's why Siya always had to hear in this country how she should be grateful to Ragini's family for being here today, and so on. There were many such things. And as for the school uniform, books, and taxes, Mrs. Rao had given Siya Ragini's old things instead of bringing new things for her. Because of this, Siya was often mocked. Even though Siya studied at the university, she never made any friends, and everyone kept their distance from her. Thinking about all this, a different kind of hatred for Rajini was visible in Siya's eyes. Looking at all those things, she says, "This time everything will change because this time Siya herself has changed. I will take account for every single insult you have given me. Just wait." The Rao family, despite using all their power, could not get bail, but they had arranged to keep Mrs. Rao in a separate jail because those women had banded together to make Mrs. Rao's life miserable. 2 days passed by in a flash. Finally, Mrs. Rao was released, and it was also time for Siya to go to university. It was now 8:00 p.m. Siya was to go to university the next day. It was her first day at university. That's why she was very excited. Today, Manav was going to be late, and he had informed her about it beforehand. So Siya had dinner alone and went back to her room. Now it remains to be seen how Siya's college life will be. Will what happened in the past life happen again, or will Siya change everything? And how will Mrs. Rao take such a huge insult? Will she take revenge or realize her mistake?